How do I pin again? Pin. How do I pin? Don't worry about that. Anyways, am I already connected online? Yep. So, today's gonna work out a little bit differently than last time did. Because I don't have someone to host for me this time, so I need to be the host. So I have 3 other people ready to join. Wait, that's not right. Because if I'm the host, I need to be player 1. That way, if we find a good path, then I restart the game to keep it. So the goal here is to find a good path to where I then constantly restart the game until someone gets something. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. Today is indeed Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to you all. You know, yesterday at work, I actually had a black lady say to me, Merry Christmas! I know you guys don't celebrate it, but Merry Christmas still, regardless anyways. And I'm just thinking to myself, why wouldn't we? Like, why would you even feel the need to say that? Like, why wouldn't we celebrate Christmas? Like, I don't get it. She just blatantly said, Merry Christmas to you guys. I know you guys don't celebrate it, but Merry Christmas anyways. Anyways, I just thought that was weird. You know, it's just this thing where... Okay, none of these options are good. I will take... This is horrible. I'll take this just in case we run into Pelipper or Mantine. Oh, these are awful. All of these terrible. Okay, Sneasel's good. So, anyways, that aside, Merry Christmas to you all. I actually texted a friend of mine, or not a friend. I texted our group chat. Like, I just had this lady say Merry Christmas, even though you guys don't celebrate. Oh my god, I forgot to change my my controls. Whoops! I can't see. Oh no! I forgot to change my controls. Oh, thank goodness. These guys know what they're doing. Aw, man, I changed my right stick to control, like, left. Why I did that? Don't worry about it. Oh my god, these are terrible. Sorry, like... Okay, so... So, like I was saying, I texted my group of friends about, you know, the lady saying Merry Christmas despite you guys don't celebrate it. One of my friends asked, were you offended by that? And I just replied, I'm the person who gets offended when white people say ni hao to me. What do you think? Well, I don't want to say I was truly offended by that. I was just wondering, like, that's an odd thing to say. You could have just said Merry Christmas and then just left it at that. You didn't need to say the rest of it. You didn't need to say the whole, I know, despite you guys don't celebrate it. You guys didn't exactly need to say that part. But, you know, whatever, right? Anyway, so like I was saying beforehand, that there's a lot going behind the scenes that you guys can't see when it comes to this hunt. I'm in a Discord server, chatting with 3 other people to try to communicate on what the strategy is. Ugh. I also realized I should probably change the number in the corner before I check Zygarde, just so it actually makes sense. So this is about to be, assuming we win, this is about to be check number 8 overall. But it's going to have a 7 on the screen, so I should probably change it before I actually check. So anyways, let me first tell you guys about this Christmas and how it was playing out to be the worst Christmas of my life. So today is Christmas Day, Today is the 25th of December. I guess I'll take it, because I suck against Zygarde. Okay, go left. Ooh, acid spray. That's pretty good. Oh man, I should have kept Raichu. Whoops. Oh no, but Dark as Absol would have had Blizzard. Oh, well, this run's already botched. Someone could risk the scientist. So, yeah, today is Christmas Day. Yesterday was Christmas Eve. And this had the potential to really be the worst Christmas of my life. It was playing out good. It was playing out fine. Yesterday, I had 2 families over for dinner. I had my sister's husband's family over. So my sister's husband's parents, little brother and his girlfriend, grandma, so, you know, his side of the family. And then I had my dad's, you know, side of the family, so my dad's brother's family, so my uncle and my cousins. So I had 2 different families come over for Christmas Eve dinner. But then, halfway into work, because my sister's sometimes a very lazy turd, my sister, first of all, she went to the doctor's at like 1 in the afternoon, so she didn't come into work. And then around like 1:30, she decided she's not going to come to work at all. So my sister was home yesterday. She didn't even go pick up her own medicine around like 5 in the afternoon. So halfway into work, my sister calls me, and she tells me that Toby has a problem. Toby's not acting right. Something seems wrong with him. What seems like happened yesterday, and this is not confirmed, this is just what we suspect. It seems like our dog, Toby, yesterday might have had a stroke. It's not confirmed, we don't know what really happened, but the symptoms almost line up mostly with what we looked up online for symptoms of a stroke in a dog. So how did this happen? Honestly, we're not too sure. It happened when my sister's husband came over. Toby was asleep. The sudden door opening woke him up when he was asleep, and then, you know, started barking. Maybe that rush from being unconscious to then a burst of energy, maybe that was too much for him, because he is an elderly dog. So yesterday, when we had 2 families over for dinner, I didn't want to leave Toby's side. So we kept him in this very room that I'm in so that I could keep an eye on him. I didn't want to leave and join the dinner, because who knows, like, who knows what could have happened to him without anyone watching it. Because what was happening with him throughout the night, he could no longer stand. He could no longer walk, loss of appetite, constant panting, lots of drooling, occasional vomiting. And, you know, we really had a scare last night. I really thought that maybe it was time to say goodbye. Because this exact thing almost played out the same when Billy passed. Billy's final days, he too could no longer walk. He couldn't stand up anymore. He didn't eat anything anymore. So I was really scared. I was really starting to think that it might be time for us to say goodbye to him. Sooner, much sooner than we expected. Just out of nowhere too, suddenly. It was supposed to be a nice family night, Christmas Eve dinner, and then this happened out of nowhere. And because it's Christmas Eve, no vet clinics are open. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, so the vet's not going to be open until the day after tomorrow. So it just had to happen on the worst time possible, where the no vet clinics would be open for several days. So the entire night we kept watch of him. You know, same thing. He couldn't really stand for most of the night. Couldn't really walk. Eventually, later into the night, he was able to stand up and slightly walk. However, his walk isn't straight anymore. You know how you've seen the footage where hold on, the person with Sneasel is asking should he eat Dynamax? Probably not. You seen the footage where you put little shoes on dogs and they no longer know how to walk? He kind of was walking like that. And then sometimes when he stood up, or even when he was lying down, he would lean on an angle. So he would stand up on an angle. So we carried him up to my room, my bedroom, so he could sleep by my side. You know what? No, I'm not gonna Dynamax. So he was laying next to me in bed. Or I should say, he was lying next to my bed on a towel, because he kept on drooling the entire night, and because he couldn't get up, he kept on trying to move around, and then, you know, he moved where his drool was. He was just all over his own drool. So we put a towel underneath him. And I had to sleep with a light on, because normally I sleep pitch black without any sort of light source. Because he was next to me, I didn't want to, you know, wake up in the middle of the night hearing him, whatever, and then not be able to see him as I stood down from my bed. So I had to sleep with a light on. And then throughout the night, I would just hear him get up, try to get up, try to go somewhere. And I was concerned too, because what if he had to use the bathroom, right? I mean, it's no big deal if he just peed in my bedroom, I'll just clean it up. You know, we really had a scare last night. I was really, you know, starting to prepare myself in case we really did need to consider saying goodbye to him earlier than expected. Because, once again, the symptoms were almost exactly the same when Billy passed. And for it to happen around Christmas time, when no vet clinics were open, so it was not a great night last night. I wasn't really present during the dinner because I had to stay in here and watch him. He did throw up a couple times at night. Throughout the night. So it's a good thing I was standing next to him, just in case, you know, if he threw up and none of us were here, imagine how big a mess that would have been. So we really did have a scare last night that Toby might go soon. Thankfully, though, it does not seem like the case. Now, I'm not gonna jump to conclusions just yet because we still don't know concretely what the problem was. When we woke up this morning, he seemed not fine, but better. He had his energy back. He was eating again. He was able to get up and walk around, but his walking still isn't 100% normal. He still kind of wobbles when he walks, so we're not too sure what happened. It potentially could have been nausea or indigestion, because my sister did say, like, throughout the afternoon she gave him a boiled egg, and then, you know, he threw up. He threw up throughout the night. However, I don't know if just having indigestion from a boiled egg would cause him to not be able to walk anymore. I can understand the vomiting, but the ability to not walk anymore, that I'm not too sure about. So I don't want to rule out the fact that, you know, maybe he actually did have a stroke. Because we don't know. The vet clinic's not open, and it won't be open for a couple more days. You know, it was hard throughout the entire night last night, seeing my boy weak, potentially dying, knowing there's nothing you can do besides just be there, stay with him. Mentally, I was preparing for the worst. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not the case. I have a little bit more time with him. And you know, aside from that, if he really did have a stroke, I even looked up too, are the effects of a stroke permanent? And well, the top results I could see is, unless you get that checked out right away to minimize the damage, it could only get worse. Whatever damage is done, it could get worse just because it's not treated. So not only is the damage already done and more than likely permanent, it could be getting worse by the day, and the vet clinics aren't open for another couple days. So yes, this did almost shape out to be the worst Christmas I could have ever had. we are getting lucky that Zygarde's not using its spread moves. We did land a Acid Spray and a Helping Hand, so we'll have to see. It is also a Stab Ice move, so let's see. Oh no, that's going to activate the ability. So yep, yesterday was a pretty bad night for me. It was going fine. Half the day was just regular day at work, and then come home to a dinner. Only to come back and potentially, you know, be here for my dog's final moments. Or not final moments, maybe final days. You know, I tried shiny hunting Zygarde in X and Y before people found out it was shiny locked. Why they shiny locked it? Well, that's Game Freak for you. So that's 3 lives. I think we're screwed. Thankfully, yeah, we're screwed. I was about to say, thankfully Sneasel lived. Never mind, we're done. Well, that's a waste of 20 minutes. No shinies. And you know, I didn't really get much sleep last night because of it. Throughout the night, also because I slept with the light on, which I don't normally do. Throughout the night, I kept on hearing him move, so I had to constantly get up and check on him. Oh, one person had to leave. Now I need to find one more. Hold on, I just need a ping in the server. Whoops. Anyways, yeah. And also throughout the night, I didn't want to move too much in bed. Just in case me moving and shuffling around in my bed would wake him up. So, you know, it was pretty uncomfortable for me, let alone very little sleep. Hi, Derpy. Welcome. Merry Christmas. Would you like to join? Because we're still missing one person. And because it's Christmas night, I don't think many people are on. I mean, if nobody joins, we could try for 3-player for now. Maybe next? Okay. You know, of course I felt a sense of relief this morning when he acted almost completely better. Almost, you know? Not entirely, his walking is still off. Oh look, one person replied. Okay, the last person who said he could join, he said he's finishing one up. So we just gotta wait for one more person to join. This is what happens when you're the host. I don't like being the host. But because no one else is hosting for me to join, I need to be the host. Anyway, so yeah, yesterday was a pretty bad day. All we can do now is just keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't get worse, and, you know, just be here for be with him for however longer he will be with us. All of that had to happen on Christmas Eve as well. And today, being Christmas Day, well, today wasn't really special either. I still had to go into work today. Oh, I need to change my button mapping before I forget. Don't worry about why it's like that. Don't worry about it. There we go. Well, and in terms of Christmas, I didn't get fucking shit. Because we just don't really do that anymore. We don't really do the whole gift-giving thing on Christmas anymore. Unless, you know, my friends and I would decide to do a Secret Santa, which we haven't done in many years now. Well, I don't pick that. I picked Zygarde. Well, at least we had a white Christmas. At least there was snow outside instead of a depressing gray Christmas with no snow. No snow, just overcast, concrete, a gray Christmas. At least we had a white Christmas, you know? Until global warming really takes effect and ruins the planet. Past couple years, the snow really has been coming in clutch right before Christmas. For most of December, we would not have any snow, and then just before Christmas Day, it would snow, and then we would have snow everywhere. Even though it did snow for, like, it snowed pretty hard the other night, and then literally the next morning, so yesterday morning, it felt warm enough to where the snow was already starting to melt. Canada. Alright, third person's ready. I think this is the first Christmas we got snow. We tend to get snow in January. Uh... And also, just a quick little update to that thing I said last time about my friends possibly planning a cabin trip. Never mind. Don't worry about that. I got the details wrong. It was not for us. So that part where a friend of mine was asking for pictures of his own ex, yeah, that didn't include me, so yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, that's not working. Did I hit anything again? Oh, right. So, a couple more things I want to briefly touch on before we talk about the shows. So, I forgot to mention this last time I did this hunt. Quick little update. It turns out that the channel President Playdates is uploading again. President's Playdates hasn't uploaded for over a year and a half, and then out of nowhere he's just started uploading again. I'm very glad that the person behind the channel is alive and well. The person behind the channel did say that the biggest reason they stopped uploading was because of their health. The person's health gradually deteriorated and then, you know, had to be switched to several different medications. And also said burnout. So I'm glad the person who runs the President's Playdates channel is alive and well and that he's, you know, back to it. Please don't burn yourself out, Mr. Playdates. And please be in good health. I didn't think the channel would ever come back. I've seen a lot of AI presidents' channels stop uploading. So, you know, this was just a test of time. There's only a handful that, you know, still upload that I watch. So we're waiting for last person to show up. This is why I don't like hosting, y'all. It's been half an hour and not one Zygarde check has took place. There we go. Please, come on, let us find a good path. These options already suck. These are awful. Thankfully, we have 4 actual human beings behind these characters, you know, behind the movement, so it's not terrible NPCs. All of these are weak to Zygarde in their own way. Well, I suppose Toxicity being quad weak, may as well get it out of the way. I don't think I see any wide guarders. Alright, we are screwed. Yeah, we're not getting shiny Zygarde for quite a while. Holy hell, that is loud. So I'm glad that the channel President's Playdates is back. I love watching the Golf with Your Friends series. So anyways, for those who don't know, you preferably need two things to take Zygarde. One is a Pokemon with Wide Guard, and two, an Ice-type move. Preferably, you know, Stab. Something like Cryogonal, Sneasel, Jinx. Those Stab Ice-type moves are good. Wide Guard, you want to look for... Off the top of my head, I remember three. You want either Pelipper, Mantine, Hitmonlee. Okay, Kingler, that's number 4. What's number 5? There was a 5th one that knows Wide Guard. Mean Xiao. I think Mean Xiao learns Wide Guard. Or knows. So you're looking for one of the 5. So another thing I want to update on. So you know how I hunted for a total of 10 shiny Furfros? Well, it wasn't until after I got all 10 that I learned that the Furfro forms change back on their own after 5 real-life days. So in a way, me hunting for 10 of them was almost pointless. Dunsparce has Ice Beam. It's not Stab, but, you know, it's better than nothing. Well, it seems like I wasted a bunch of time and energy hunting for a total of 5. No, 5. Hunting for a total of 10 shiny Furfros. Seems like I completely wasted that. You know, this is just me coping. Maybe they'll change it in Legend ZA, where they don't change back on their own. However, that's just me huffing a whole bunch of copium. I didn't know that. You know, I never used a Furfro on my team before, let alone had a shiny of it. I didn't know the forms changed back, and nobody told me. I found out on my own by chance, because I watched a video about it, and then in that video, it was just casually dropped. Oh yeah, they changed back in 5 real days. So yeah, nobody told me, and I didn't know. Why would I have known? Yeah, I probably should have kept Dedenne. Because I'm being told Dedenne is at least faster, has dazzling gleam, plus can entertain Dunsparce for a +1 special. Whoops. Wait. Oh, I guess none of us have to take. You know, none of us have to swap for it. Alright, nearly 45 minutes in. Let's start talking about all these shows. So, what we have to talk about today... no new episode of Creature Commandos. The Boys. Oshinoko. No new episode of Beast Games. However, I did watch episode 2, so we do have episode 2 to talk about. And What If Season 3. I only saw up to the first 2 episodes. So screw it, let's talk about both. I was going to just talk about 1 episode per one of these. Just like my plan for Squid Game Season 2. I'm pretty sure Netflix is going to drop all of it at once in typical Netflix fashion. I could be wrong about that, I haven't looked it up. So obviously I'm not going to review the entire damn season all at once. I'm just going to do 1 episode at a time. But just because I already saw both episodes of What If, why not? I'm being recommended I swap out Magmar for Charjabug. Clearly I'm not the brains behind the operation. I don't think we're gonna win this round. Alright, so let's talk about these episodes. No new episode of Creature Commandos, so after that, The Boys. I believe this was episode 6. Once again, so many episodes, so many shows I'm watching, it's hard to keep... Yeah. We just skipped the entire raid. Oh, man! Not even a chance. man, that's some bullshit. I was just texting in the group. Path was mid at best. Copium. So episode 6 of season 1 of The Boys. This episode was filled with a lot of like, once again, capitalism. A lot of, I don't know, PSAs and commercial making, where a bunch of the 7 members are doing some sort of publicity marketing. Couple things. So this episode also is the origin of the perfect meme. Now I know where it came from. It was perfect. Perfect. Everything. Down to the last minute details. Now I finally know where that meme came from and the context behind it. Let's see, a couple things happen. Where do I start? So while they're filming all their commercials or PSAs or whatnot, Homelander in the set decoration has a particular blanket, and Homelander gets really offended and enraged because of it. We find out later, Homelander's, we get a glimpse into Homelander's tragic backstory where he had no parents, no family, not even really a name, I imagine. He was a kid in a lab full of scientists. But does that really excuse the revelation of what Homelander did in this episode? No. No, it does not. So Homelander got really offended about that blanket being there, and he made a really good point to Madeline about it. I swear, the person who plays Madeline, she looks so much like Kim Dickens. He makes a good point. How would you feel if you were told to go to a house you've never been in, filled and decorated with stuff that you've never seen before, with pictures of people you've never seen before, and you have to pretend like it all matters to you? Yeah, nobody would feel good about that. Some other things. So we finally got a backstory on Butcher. So Butcher sees that Huey and Annie are getting closer and closer to where the beginning of the episode, aside from the weird commercial making stuff, so Huey and Annie are out on a date, and then this random guy we've never seen before suddenly shows up, supposedly one of Huey's friends. And my blind ass didn't realize that was kind of a foreshadow to the end of the episode. I mean, why would I, right? There was no hints of that kind of concept coming back. So yeah, Butcher sees that that Huey and Starlight are getting closer, and he takes it upon himself to kind of put a stop to that. So Butcher takes Huey to try to show him the effects that the soups have on the world and the people in it. They go to this little counseling circle where, you know, it's collateral damage. People who are victims of the collateral damage left behind by the soups. There's this one crazy story where this guy, you know, he ended up with this, like, ice-powered soup lady. And then while they were smashing, he just basically said, while she climaxed, she froze. And then, you know, while he was still in there, up all in her, she froze and then it snapped off. Well, Butcher has a rage fit at the middle of the circle. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Any wide guarders? What's the fighting type? What is it? That is... I think that's Pangoro. Fuck. I just suggested an idea to the group. What if we just knock out ourselves to just get rid of the path faster? Let me check with these guys. Should I Dynamax? Because it'll use up Hale's PP. Oh, they're saying yes. So yeah, we're getting hints. We're getting closer to the story of why Butcher is so against the soups. So not only does Butcher take Huey on a little excavation to stop him from getting closer to Starlight, we also get the storyline where, first of all, they meet this person whose powers, I think his name was Mesmar. His power was to be able to read someone's thoughts by touching the person, by physical contact. So they can use that to learn the thoughts of, you know, the Asian lady. Yeah, before they do that, let's see here. Oh yeah, so Starlight, like, she's kind of in trouble for her stunt at that, you know, religion festival thing in the previous episode. Where I'm glad the news media isn't covering the wrong thing about what she said. At the end of the last episode, it seemed like the news coverage, all they cared about was Starlight questioning her faith, when the biggest thing they should have been focusing on was who stuck his dick in her face. And I'm glad this episode actually did cover that. Like, people online rightfully were thinking, like, who was the guy who stuck his face in her... What? Stuck his dick in her face? Like, people want an answer. So it's later on revealed that it was indeed the Deep, and that he puts out this formal apology, which we know how formal apologies go. They all suck. I'm gonna try it. And what's funny is, like, you know, him having the outtakes for the formal apology. It's like, oh, I sincerely apologize. Oh, no, let's take it again. So, you know, the Deep is rightfully so getting shat on by everyone. So we finally find out why Butcher has such a vendetta against the Soups. So he takes Huey to the same park where he was watching footage of his wife, whose name is Becca. I did forget that. Butcher's wife's name was Becca, and you know, she's missing. She's just vanished. And now we finally learn the story of what happened. Of why Butcher hates Soups so much. So he reveals to Huey, Homelander raped her. That is pretty dark. I really did not expect that. I was thinking to myself, what could Homelander or what could one of the Soups have possibly done to make Butcher hate them so much? I did not think of that one bit. I did not consider that at all. Now I can see. I can very well see why he has such a hatred for the Soups. So, after what Homelander did, Homelander either killed Becca or Becca took her own life, so she's more than likely gone regardless. And then it's revealed that was 8 years ago, which, does that line up? Does that timeline line up? Didn't this show come out in 2019? And the security cam footage Butcher was watching, wasn't that dated 2012? 8 years later, wouldn't that make this 2020? And also, the character of Ashley, she left the company of Vought. So I don't remember, did she show up in this show before Fear the Walking Dead, or was it the other way? Like, did she film one show right after the other? I forget, when did she show up? I forget what season Ginny showed up. Was it like season 6? What year was Fear the Walking Dead season 6? Season 6 premiered October 2020. So maybe she left The Boys and went to go film Fear the Walking Dead for a bit. I don't know exactly how the timeline worked out. Maybe. We're gonna bank on this thing's blizzard. Oh, that's not Pangoro, that's a Polyrath. So yes, wait a second. That's not a Sneasel. The group was saying this was a Sneasel. The other one was clearly a Grimmsnarl. It's okay, this thing has Ice Fang. my god, I'm just now looking at that shirt design. So, Memzar, the psychic, reads the mind of the psychic lady, the Asian lady, finds out that, well, at first finds out that she's part of a terrorist group, but then finds out even more, like, no, she's part of a terrorist group against her will. The group killed her parents, took her and her brother. So her name is Kimiko, I think that was her name. So we finally get to learn her name. So we find out that the terrorist group, their plan is to, like, you know, by unleashing Compound V, not only unleashing Compound V into hospitals across the country, making baby soups, they also plan to inject people with Compound V, turn them super, make them go on a rampage, make them look like super villains, and then have the Seven, have Vought and the Seven save the day. So they're creating the problem just to make themselves look good. Wow, is Vought corrupt. I never considered just how corrupt. Well, of course I knew Vought was corrupt. But, like, I guess I should say, like, I never considered how corrupt this kind of storytelling could be. You know? Imagine if the Justice League was this capitalized. Probably just be as corrupt. Well, probably not, but, you know, I'm just saying. So by the end of the episode, Huey and Annie are on another date. They kiss, finally. Huey finally lets go of Robin, no longer seeing her ghost, no longer lingering in his conscience. However, Butcher shows up and puts a stop to it. Because Butcher brings up a good point. What will happen to his now new girlfriend once she finds out that he was the one who killed the Translucent? Oh god, did we disconnect again? I hope Morpeko, you know, I'm pretty sure Morpeko's faster, because I think hail always lands in an ice, in hail. I was about to say in an ice storm. Did I miss anything about this episode? There was also the moment where Homelander was mad about the blanket. Talks to Madeline. Madeline's like, could you please do it again, do it better? Something about the whole process, and then all it took was a grope to the groin for him to comply. Okay, one person said he's gonna opt out after this because the Wi-Fi problem seems to, you know, seems to not be good. Okay, so we did have one person on a wait list to join. See, this is why I don't like hosting. So unless I forgot something regarding the boys this episode, let's move on because we still got Oshinoko and Beast Games and 2 episodes of the boys, 2 episodes of What If to cover. Someone else saying they may opt out. See, this is why Zygarde is the hardest hunt in this game. Or at least in Dynamax Adventures. Well, and no shiny. Okay, so it seems like we agree. First of all, we're going to do 3-player. For now. So we're going to purposely knock out ourselves until we find a good path. I need to look up the character's name real quick, that purple hair character in Oshinoko, because I forgot his name. We have a Selgor for Acid Spray, which is good. But, you know, won't mean anything unless we have the other stuff. I don't know if the scientist is worth trying. Excellent. Okay, what was that guy's name again? Because this episode was the play. The play actually is starting. And for like half the episode, it was just focusing on the play. And then half the episode then focused on that one character. I see here his name is Melt. Melt Narushima, the purple hair guy. The guy who can't act and everyone gives him a hard time for. Is that his name? Yeah, there's only one character in the show with purple hair. So yeah, I was really liking the fact that this episode just primarily focused on the play. Maybe focused on what the audience would see, and then occasionally, like, I like the camera change, where it showed the stage, a close-up of the stage, showing what the actors, what they are looking at. Like, I liked that this episode was showing the play, and then out of nowhere, like, the second half of the episode was really focusing on Melt as a character, or Narushima, the purple hair guy who everyone hates, everyone clowns on for not being able to act. So then it cuts back to, like, you know, why he was chosen for the role, why he was hired for this job, when everyone clowns on him for not being able to act. Okay, I just need to do this again. So then he got some advice from Aqua, and it was actually pretty good advice that I never thought about. So if everyone says you suck at acting, you can use that to your advantage. Everyone's guard is down, thinking like, oh my god, that person's terrible. And then you can surprise the crowd, surprise the audience by doing something radically different, doing something drastically big, and then catching the audience off guard and surprising them like, wow, we thought that person was bad, but then, wow, what we just saw, that was something else. That was unexpected. I never thought about that. And then we really see, you know, what's his name? We really see Narushima finally get a hang of the character. And then, there was also this one part where, for the play, it said, like, first act, end of act 1. I'm like, plays do that in Japan? There's just, like, an intermission between acts? That's a thing? So yeah, everyone is watching him to see if he can finally do good acting. And then a lot of people, even some people in the audience, were saying like, hey, that guy playing that one character, he's not that great. I mean, to me, his acting looked fine. But then again, I'm watching an anime, right? It's hard to say. His acting didn't look bad to me. But it is hard to say, you know? Movie or TV show, or even live in person watching a play. Someone's bad at acting, you can tell. So maybe in universe his acting really did suck. I don't know, it looked fine to me. So I'm seeing if these guys want us to self-sabotage again. No one's responding. They're saying, one person said, I don't think so. Okay. I'm gonna try to leave the Dynamax for someone else. Trying to think what else happened in this episode. I mean, that's pretty much it. Not a lot of the minor details really worth going into. Narushima, the purple-haired guy, he got clowned on a lot for his inability to act. And then we see him finally do a good performance. Everyone was judging him during the play, and then he proved himself to be able to do a good performance. And, well, this is only one portion of the play overall. The next episode, I assume, is going to follow on the rest of the play, where we actually see the characters we care about up on stage. So we're going to see Aqua, Akane, probably Kana as well. Kana was performing in this episode with her stage partner. What was her name? What was that guy's name? Guy's name, Taiki? I have to look at a wiki to know their characters' names. Taiki Himekawa, or Himekawa. So we still have yet to see Aqua and Akane actually perform on stage for the play. So, you know, next episode's the one we really want to see. I didn't expect them to split the storyline into two. But then again, they needed us to flesh out Narushima a bit. Show us, well, I don't want to say borderline waste our screen time by showing us his story. You know, there was a portion in the episode where they went into this like trippy, weird kind of animation. It was weird, it was bizarre, it was very out of place for the anime. But then I like the transition at the very end, where, you know, he transitioned from character to himself, finally getting a grasp on it. I like that. The rest of it was weird, though. Very out of place, considering what this anime was and is for, like, Season 1. What did this do again? Special attack. Porygon does have Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. Fine. I'm not doing much damage to it anyways. Okay, well, not too much to talk about this episode for, so let's move on. Unless I forgot something. But I feel like they were clowning on this guy a little too much, you know? His acting didn't seem that bad to me, but then again, you know, it's an anime. It's not a real-life story, or, you know. So it's hard to say. Alright, let's talk about Beast Games. Not a new episode, but rather episode 2. I believe a new episode comes out tomorrow. So Beast Games episode 2, I like this episode much more than episode 1. I feel like the pacing for this episode was much better. So this episode, we have, I think, just about 500 players left. Just under 500 players. They're all in Beast City. And the games are going to play, well, they're first split up into 4. They have a button, or a little badge that they have with information on it. So the first game they play, they need to catch a ball and not let it land on the ground. I was actually thinking, at first I was thinking, like, what strategy could you use to win this? At first I was thinking, if all of you lie down on the ground, like, you know, leave no open space available, then you just win, right? Wouldn't you? Because the first team who lets a ball hit the ground loses. So if you cover the most surface area of the floor, then you just can't lose. But I'm sure Mr. Beast thought about that because there's not enough people to cover the surface area of the floor. So yeah, they had to catch the ball before, before one of the balls lands on the ground, and whichever team a ball lands on the ground, their whole team is gone. I guess try the scientist, right? These guys want to try the scientist? Oh, that's terrible. We have 3 Ice-type attackers, but no Zygarde, so this path sucks. Well, seems like these guys want to give it a try. Man, it's strange seeing a big fat 7 in the corner this whole time and it not changing. Well, I'm gonna Dynamax because why the hell not? Maybe I can get 1 hit in before I'm knocked out. So yeah, Beast games, after the game where the ball falls down, they then had... I might be saying this out of order. They then had a game where the less number of people wins. So 2 groups, they don't know how much each side has afterwards. So the team with less people by the end wins. So you have to self-eliminate yourself for the greater good of the team. And if you don't, if no one does, well, then, you know. So I gotta say, like, whoever came up with these challenges and games, diabolical. Because, wow, these challenges and games are designed to eliminate a big number of players very fast. Then the third game. They have to throw a ball into a giant cup and score points for their own team. Each player has 1 shot. And then later on he throws out a golden cup with a smaller goal. So if you hit that, you get a big prize money, but it'll prove that, you know, you're not working for the team, you're working for yourself. Now, I personally would not try it because it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the risk. And then the last game, I can't lie. If I was in that last game, I would be absolutely screwed. Because the last game is trivia. my stupid ass would be out then and there. I would be eliminated in a heartbeat if that was my challenge. The two challenges in this game, including balls, pause, I could probably pass. However, the other two, the one where, you know, required less players to win, that one's harder to say. And trivia, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I will be eliminated so fast. But that's not all. There was one final game at the end. You pick a team leader, and that leader could be bribed with money. Your whole team gets eliminated. But not you. You get the big bag of change, and you get to stay in the game. The temptation, the bribe. They actually ended it on a cliffhanger, too. We don't see who, you know, folded and took the money, stayed in the game, and just betrayed their entire team. Well, I don't get these guys. I mean, I kind of do, but at the same time, you know, they're optimistic. They want to give it a shot, even though we all know these attempts are folly without a wide guard user. Wow, another person's tapping out. Everyone's just tapping out, you know? Well, let's quickly talk about the two What If episodes. So, number one, what if the Hulk fought the assembled Avenger? This episode was strange. A lot of, you know, avoiding saying certain terms in order to prevent copyright infringements. So, I really scratched my head at, you know, what caused this universe to happen, because there's a lot of different Nexus events for this episode to play out. First of all, at the beginning of Captain America the Winter Soldier, it wasn't Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson jogging around. Instead, this time it was Sam Wilson and Bruce Banner. Sorry about that. So I really question what the Nexus events of this episode would be. To cause Steve Rogers not to be there, but instead Bruce Banner to be there. So, Bruce Banner and Sam Wilson become friends much earlier in the timeline. So, Bruce Banner seeks counseling from Sam Wilson in order to try to get rid of the Hulk. However, years of that, I think, years of it, it didn't work. Bruce tries to get rid of the Hulk with gamma radiation, because wow, that's totally the best solution. Gamma created the Hulk, Gamma can get rid of the Hulk, because that's totally how it works. But using gamma radiation to try to get rid of the Hulk only made it worse. In fact, all it did was just split the personalities. So we now have a gamma beast that can grow and multiply into a kaiju size. So now we have this kaiju Hulk monster that is, you know, skyscrapers in size. The Avengers, our main Avengers, they needed to form together like these giant mechs in order to take it down, but then they all get killed. These are all terrible. So it's been like 10 years since the Gamma Wars. So let's assume for a second that the Gamma Wars took place in the same year as the Winter Soldier, which is where this episode began. Let's see. Oh, we have Kingler. Wait, this is potential right here. So Winter Soldier, if I'm not mistaken, came out in 2014. So 10 years after the Gamma Wars, that'd be 2024. So because this universe is preoccupied with the Gamma Wars, so no Ultron, no Vision, right? No Infinity Stone saga. So then it's like, well, what happened with Thanos? Because Thanos is still hunting for the stones. What happened to the scepter on Earth? What happened to the scepter on Earth? What happened to the Tesseract? Well, no, never mind, not the Tesseract. Thor took the Tesseract to Asgard, never mind. So, like, what happened to the scepter? You know, where's Doctor Strange in all this? Right? There's a lot of questions. Anyways, the Avengers are killed, so we now have a new group of Avengers consisting of Sam Wilson's Captain America, consisting of Alexei and Melina, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, and then there was the final character. I couldn't even tell who she was. At first I was like, is that Riri Williams? Is that Shuri? No, that was Nakia. I couldn't tell until looking at the credits at the very end. That was Nakia. I honestly really couldn't tell. So they get the signal in, I don't know, I think the Arctic of gamma radiation. So, oh yeah, also Monica Rambeau. So Sam and Monica, they go check it out. They find out that, you know, there's the new Apex Gamma Beast leading an invasion army to, no surprise, New York. So they need to find Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner on a deserted island living in isolation. He has this plan. He designed this code to turn the mechs into like the Megazord where they form together. But then that's not enough. So then Bruce Banner just jacks himself up with a gamma nuke, turning him into a giant kaiju to fight the Apex. Well, Bruce wins, but he's no longer Bruce. He's just a Gamma Apex Hulk. So he leaves the army away. The army of other Gamma Beasts away. know, these episodes of What If really bring up a lot more questions, right? Like, in these different universes, and these alternate events, these Nexus events that branch out into, you know, branches off of the sacred timeline. It's like, well, the question always comes up of, what about Thanos? What about Tiamat, right? Like, did the Gamma Wars wipe out a good chunk of humanity, delaying the emergence? Where were the Eternals during this? Like, the Eternals would probably still be told by Arishem not to interfere. So, I guess you could say that's where the Eternals were. They were told not to interfere. But then it's like, the question is, what about Thanos? Thanos still would have came to Earth around like 2018, since none of that's changed. Like, in terms of the Infinity Stones, Thanos would still get the Power Stone, the Space Stone, Reality, Soul, and then he came to Earth. Yeah, no, well, we don't know about the Time Stone. We don't know where Doctor Strange is, if he... More than likely, Doctor Strange would not have ended up on Titan to hand the stone to Thanos. So 2018, Thanos' plan would still be in effect. He would still come to Earth with 4 stones. Not 4. With 3 stones. He would still have the Power Stone, Reality Stone, Soul Stone. So he would still need the Mind Stone, the Time Stone. I think I'm miscounting here. Regardless, he would still be missing just a couple of stones. So regardless, Thanos would still show up to Earth already equipped with a couple of stones. So then it's like, what happened with that? Did the Avengers take a break from the Gamma Wars to deal with Thanos? I mean, they could have. It was stated that the Gamma Wars ended like a decade ago. Or it's been a long time. And anyway, speaking of Tiamat, so that's what episode 2 is for season 3. What if Agatha went to Hollywood? So Agatha Harkness, I believe in like the 50s, with a young Howard Stark and Jarvis. The Howard Stark no longer is doing the weapons business. He's now making movies. Which, I wonder what the Nexus event for this would be. Howard Stark, instead of going into the weapons business, decided to go for Hollywood. Well, how would that affect Agatha's decision? So are there 2 Nexus events? Not only Howard Stark changing career paths, but also Agatha? I mean, the whole reason Agatha started Hollywood, is because she discovered Tiamat in the core of the Earth and wanted the power for herself. So she seeked out the rest of the Eternals, took all their powers. What was left was the only person whose powers left was Kingo. Like, I would love to see how Agatha knew about the emergence. How Agatha learned about Tiamat, because realistically, nobody in the entire history of humanity could know, except for the Eternals. Unless the Eternals told people, realistically, nobody should have known Tiamat was down there. Unless humanity discovered some sort of, or developed some sort of technology to be able to scan the planet's core and found out, wow, there's a Celestial in there. There's a giant being in there, right? Unless humanity just developed technology to do that in, like, I assume the 50s. Realistically, nobody should have known Tiamat was down there. So how did Agatha? Did she just randomly one day decide, let me take a look at the Earth's core. I'm curious. And then she found out. Like, how did Agatha find out about the Eternals, too? Like, I know the Eternals have been around and they left their mark, but the Eternals have mostly remained incognito and out of the history books, except for Kingo in his movies. So anyways, they strike up a deal. Agatha takes Kingo's power, absorbs the power of Tiamat. Arishem gets all mad, so Arishem shows up to Earth. And I really question too, like, the speed that Arishem shows up to Earth. In the Eternals, we see him show up quite fast to Earth. However, that's only because we're watching a movie. In universe, I think it's been like a day since they took down Tiamat, and then Arishem showed up. So Agatha, now with the power of Tiamat, she fights off against Arishem. Actually takes his power too, so now Agatha has the power of 2 Celestials. So Agatha is giga powerful. So Agatha, you know, power hungry, wants the people of Earth to bow to her. But Kingo manages to, surprisingly enough, manages to convince her, like, you can change the world with the power of the movies. I'm just like, seriously? And Agatha, of all characters, bought that? Let me tell you something. If I had the power of 2 Celestials, ain't no way I'd be convinced I can change the world with goddamn film. So, yeah. I'm surprised Agatha actually was so easily swayed. And, well, Kingo even drops the fact that all the other Eternals are pretty concerned now that not only Tiamat's dead, but also Arishem's dead. All the other Celestials are gonna come to Earth. Like, yeah, and then by the end of the episode, the other Celestials do show up to Earth, and then they just end the episode there. I want to see that happen. So there's not a lot to point out about this episode, like the other stuff that's happened around the world. The only thing that predates this episode's events are, or just is, the Captain America First Avenger movie. So in this timeline's events, the events of Captain America First Avenger happened a couple years ago. Steve Rogers is still frozen in ice. Tony Stark and a lot of other Avengers isn't born yet. Thor, Odin's son, is on Asgard doing God knows what. So none of the big events happened yet. So there's nothing really to say. The episode I really want to see is, what if the Emergence destroyed Earth? That's a couple episodes later from now. I want to see that one. I want to know what happens if the Eternals failed to take down Tiamat. Because in this timeline, in that timeline of events, the Avengers took down Thanos, won against, you know, Infinity War and Endgame. Oh, you know what? I'm just thinking of something. I thought of something just now. Wait a second, I just thought of a really good question. Wait a second. The question I'm thinking of is multiverse interference. What I mean by that is, when did Eternals take place? Did it take place before or after Spider-Man No Way Home? Let me double check my MCU timeline. Okay, my own timeline, I put Eternals before Far From Home and No Way Home. So if an event takes place after No Way Home, would the Spider-Men still show up? Do you know what I'm asking? Hold on, I gotta text someone about this. Well, not much I can really do here. Well, I suppose, like, by then, the timeline hasn't split yet. There hasn't been a Nexus event. So, let's say a Nexus event happens after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, where the other two Spider-Men come to the MCU timeline. Well, if the timeline hasn't split yet, so they came to one timeline, and then the Nexus event happens, then the timeline splits. This is something I actually need to think about, maybe. Anyway, so, while I think about that, so, that's all I have to talk about regarding the shows. It was pretty messy today, just because we also had to follow this. Can we finally get one check tonight? Oh, of course only once. Yes! Maybe I shouldn't scald. I think that would thaw him out. Well, there is always the risk of that happening. Skuntank has Acid Spray, and then War Turtle Ice Beam is a special move. Obviously, Skuntank would be protected by Wide Guard, but it's vulnerable to if Zygarde uses Max Quake. Wide Guard goaded. Oh, but we don't have Stab Ice. You see how little damage we're doing? Animation takes forever, a small price to pay for salvation. Alright, let's see how long the frozen will last. With some fine-tuning, this path has potential. It's not great. There's no Stab Ice type, but you know, we have Wide Guard finally. It only... if we manage to win this, it only would have taken 2,000... What? 2,000? Well, it would have only taken 2 hours just to get one Zygarde check. My hands are so dry. I need to put on lotion before going to bed tonight. As long as Zygarde keeps on using its spread moves, we should be good. As long as it doesn't hit us with a Max Quake. Oh, you know what? This entire night, I completely forgot to show you guys. I got this the other day, another Hundo Grimer. And then, yesterday, before all the heartbreak happened with my dog, I got this! A shiny costume Delibird. And we're done. God damn it. We lost. No, we're gonna try this again. Over 2 hours and not a single Zygarde check. This is why Zygarde is so tough. I didn't connect online. Did that other person fall asleep? Oh, never mind. Alright, so I don't remember what the path is, but we need that war turtle, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Guys. man, had we gone left, I could have Dynamaxed against Gourgeist. Yeah, because right now we don't really have anything good against Hitmontop, except for Serena with, she has one flying type move. Acrobatics, that's it. I'm gonna have to go close my door. I wasn't paying attention. What happened there? Pretty sure that's Skuntank. The dark type at the very left. What the hell? Oh! Oh man, of course the frickin' NPC had to swap out Wartortle. I was about to say, if I swap out for Kingler and Zygarde, at least I could have a chance. Never mind. A chance that the NPC would use... Yeah, never mind. Normally I would say, like, there's no point in trying anymore, but I am hosting. I will lose the ore if I, you know. It would just go to waste if I don't even try. Man, I tell you, I'm upset that these guys didn't listen and they didn't go left. Now we wasted another attempt. This is why I don't like hosting! Wow, we won that? That was fast. Once again, I wasn't paying attention. I think it was thanks to Serena we won that so fast. Please, one of the AIs take it. Thank you. Maybe the AI will use... maybe the NPC will use Zygarde and I could just spam triple axle. Nope, Kingler's not using it. Fuck! Oh. Okay, good. Kingler did use Zygarde. I'm watching. Man, another person tapped out. Another person said ending it here. What the hell, people? Oh boy. I know it's not stab, but come on, this thing is 4 times weak, and it's weather boosted, and that's it? I'm amazed that didn't knock us out. If by chance Kingler uses Zygarde next turn, maybe. Okay, Kingler did use Zygarde. Well, never mind, we're screwed. If this thing uses Max Dragon, nope, or Max Quake. Okay. Triple Axle could finish this. Oh, one attempt today. Finally, one check today. Check number 8, nothing. I guess for good measure, I'm going to keep the path. Oh no, I think I might call it for tonight. Ugh, these people piss me off, and so do the NPCs. Well, we did one check in nearly 2.5 hours. I'll keep my eye out tomorrow for anyone hosting. But, yeah. Well, I'm going to call it here. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.